Hello guys, I'm Kirill and ProfCX Conference. Today I'm talking with Brian Pagan, who will have the masterclass on the second day of the conference and going to the conference on the main day, and you could talk with him all day as well. Hi Brian.
Hey, Kirill, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fantastic. Really looking forward to Prosto UX.
Yeah, you was on Profsa on the previous year.
Mm.
How it was?
I loved it. The energy was really high. A lot of people that were very creative and doing things that I never would have even thought about. And I'd never been to St. Petersburg before either, so that was a wonderful experience for me as well.
How was the experience in the city?
It's gorgeous.
What places do you visit?
Um, I didn't. Well, we went to the Hermitage, of course, and also to the fort. The
Hmm.
fort, I think, was my favorite place, probably. Walking across the bridge to the from the one island to the other part.
Yeah.
I love being on the water and seeing sort of the ice flows floating on the water there, and it's I don't know. I was lucky because last year we had beautiful weather, a lot of sun. So I'm hoping it'll be like that too this weekend.
I hope. I hope. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Because just a couple of minutes ago, I get a SMS, a message from the government organization about some weather issues
Ooh,
in St. Petersburg, but I hope they just over overreacted on some weather.
yeah,
Uh,
I hope so too.
yeah, but you should get a code. Yeah,
Okay, good idea.
obviously.
Thanks.
um, So, your subject of your topic on the uh, previous year was something about love. Could you tell a little bit more about it?
Absolutely. The topic from last year's my talk and the master class of last year's conference is actually a similar one to what I'm doing with Tamara this year, in the sense that it's about love. It's about using or helping designers to use emotion and harness their emotional power in a design process. And basically, I've been my mission at the moment is working on tools to help people do that in a predictable and structured way so that we can actually do it in such a way that we can bring this into teams and into companies. And what we're going to do this weekend is a further iteration of the things I talked about last year. It's about building habits, so creating a scene around which a person using a product that you're designing can build a habit around using that product, and then examining that, writing the story of how that relationship between the person and the product can change over time and blossom into a love relationship.
Okay, so what about the idea of your workshop, and how do you meet Tamara, and how it was, how your collaboration started?
Um, it's interesting. I think I was looking at some of the speakers from last year, and in Tamara, the description of Tamara's talk, she talks about fetishism in relationship with design, and I was really triggered by that, and I feel that there's a lot that we can say about this, especially because I, as a designer and as a practitioner, love to draw inspirations from different sources. So things like kink, BDSM, theater, music, philosophy, all these things are very human, and these are all things that explore what it means to be human and our humanity. And the better we can understand what makes us human is the better we can design products that touch the human thing rather than trying to bend humans into being more friendly for the products.
Okay, but what was the story about the creating the workshop?
Oh,
So,
of course. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, fair enough. So basically, I saw this word in her description, and I attended her talk as well. And then I approached her at the conference just kind of to learn more about it because yeah, her slides and everything were in Russian, so I couldn't understand them. And she gave me a really interesting summary of it. And then my wife and I went to dinner with her and her husband, and it was somehow a magical evening full of inspiration and just loving and warm energy between all of us. And it was I don't know, something happened there, and we stayed in touch. And what we're trying to do now is what we're going to do is we're going to combine her topic and my topic because they're so related, because they're so all about love and all about humanity and emotion, and because we both have this broad view of humanity that I thought it would be remiss, it would be crazy for us not to do something together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's great. It's actually first time when people meeting on profs and creating something new and very gorgeous of you guys because it's very interesting and it's great.
I
Um,
hope it's not the last time. Profso
I
is a great
I
place.
yeah, totally. So you are not only the run the UX consultancy and coaching people. You're an actor as well, right?
Hmm. Yes, yes,
Could
that's
you
true.
tell a little bit more about your actor experience? And
I think the most fun and most challenging thing I did was last year. I actually produced and starred in a play that a buddy of mine wrote. He's kind of my best friend, and he wrote this really cool play about what it's like to work in a big organization and corporates, which we can all relate to. It's like basically the play is about a meeting.
uh-huh.
It's a consultant goes to this place, this organization, and it's basically it's almost real time of a meeting that happens, and there's so many moments in there. When I was reading it and watching it later on, it's like this happens in my real life too. And now being a consultant after having produced and been in that play, I feel like I'm this character all over again, but then in real life with all these like people that are so full of themselves or just crazy bureaucratic stuff. But yeah, so you're asking about the acting part. So for me, it's interesting to be able to add something of my own creation to a script that someone else wrote. Um, and the biggest challenge for me there was, I think, production, because I had never done that before. I had to actually arrange things and hire actors and find casts and try to do all these things. And it was amazing. It was a lot of fun. Took a lot of energy. I was broke at the end. We basically spent money on that. We didn't make any money on it at all, which was fine. We did it for the fun. Um, but I loved it. I'm looking forward to do something similar to that again.
Okay. Do you have any advice for people who are nervous and afraid of the public speaking?
Oh, absolutely. I actually wrote an article on this once. I I tend to use there are four good habits that we can apply to public speaking, and they all start with R. So the first one is to rehearse, obviously, practice and prepare before the actual thing. That always helps me to be less nervous. I like to relax before I start talking. So I use this method called the box breathing or combat breathing. This is a technique that's used by military special forces, but also by Buddhist monks. And it's basically breathing in a circle where you breathe in for 4 counts, you hold it for 4 counts, you let it out for 4 counts, and then you hold your empty lungs for four. And you do that a couple times, and it helps to relax the body. Um, and then I like to reconnect. So on stage, I love to find one or two or three people to hold eye contact with, so that when I'm speaking, I'm looking someone in the eye, and that person can give me some human feedback, and there's a connection, and it's better than talking into the I don't know wall or talking at the floor or something like this. For me, it's always very helpful to have that connection with a human being in the moment. And finally, reflect. So afterwards, I always like to look back and see what went well, what didn't go so well, how can I make it better. Even if I'm not giving that same talk again, it's always nice to see maybe there's something I could have done better that I can apply for the next one. So I forgot them now. Rehearse, relax, reconnect, and reflect. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it's great to see this framework, because it's so our video going to be very helpful for speakers as well, for the audience. So thank you so much for your time. I hope to see you at Prosa on the Saturday. So could you say some end words for our audience?
Bring a coat.
Okay, thank you very much, Brian. Bye.
Thank you, Kirill. Great to see you.
Yeah, me too. Bye.
Bye.
And guys, as you see this video, don't forget to subscribe on our ProfSciX Conference channel.